Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a video about AMC. Before I start the video, guys, please make sure to leave a like on the video below, subscribe to the channel for more awesome content, join the family, guys. Let's go on our investor journey together. So today we're going to be talking about AMC, and as you guys know, AMC actually did have their earnings today, which was pretty good. They actually did beat what they were actually estimated to beat. So that's a very good sign. As you guys can see, the stock today is up about 7% after hours. Right, and a lot of people have been kind of wondering, is now a good time to buy AMC, $10.58? Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff to take into consideration. I mean, yes, the theaters have reopened up, but then they were forced to re-shut down again because the pandemic was getting worse, kind of through the winter season. I didn't expect quarter four earnings to actually even be that good anyway. But their 2020 annual loss was $4.59 billion. That's a lot of money to lose in a single year, but I mean, there's not really much you can do outside of that. I mean, it's not AMC as a company's fault, right? The business model is still pretty good. Nothing really changed, but the pandemic just happened to decimate its overall business. It was one of the industries that was hit hardest because of the pandemic. So, but I mean, the biggest thing here is people are starting to get a lot more optimistic about AMC and its overall recovery. Even a lot of the chief executives said that, now that the pandemic is slowly going away, now that vaccines are starting to roll out, now that states are starting to reopen up movie theaters again to, 25% or 50% capacities, this is definitely going to help its outlook for the next earnings, quarter one, quarter two, and for the rest of the year. Now, the company right now has been able to accumulate about $1 billion in cash to be able to keep itself afloat. Half of that has to do with selling some stock when Reddit-fueled gamers, or Reddit-fueled people, should I say, actually were able to drive the stock up 467% in 72 hours, pushing the stock to around $20, and they were able to save themselves by selling stock and taking on a little bit more debt. So that is a very good sign that the company was able to stay afloat because of that. But a lot of people do speculate, can AMC Entertainment actually end up paying off the debt? That's kind of the thing that's kind of raising questions right now with investors and a lot of big-time analysts. Now, it actually just did get a recent analyst upgrade from $2.50 to about $5. So that's awesome. You do have some analysts who are kind of starting to open their eyes to AMC as a company, their overall business model. And other people think it's just a meme stock. Like, we did have an analyst who thinks that AMC Entertainment as a company and as a stock should be trading at pennies. I completely disagree with that. AMC being the biggest entertainment in the world as far as movie theaters goes, I don't think it should be trading that low. And I do think, like I said, the company does have a lot of basically stuff to kind of work out maybe here in the next couple of years. But like I said, it's not its fault. It's the pandemic. The pandemic decimated its business. But looking at it from a fundamental perspective and its overall business model, AMC Entertainment is not a bad investment at $10.68. Obviously, everything I say in my videos is not financial advice. It's just my personal opinion. But like I said, it's just one of those companies that happened to be hit hard by the pandemic. So the company never did anything fundamentally wrong. It's the same with airlines. I mean, no one's going to go out and say like, oh, Delta Airlines is a horrible company because it sank a horrible amount of its stock value. And yes, it's made a little bit of a recovery, as AMC has as well. But just because a company was heavily affected from the pandemic, same with cruises, right? No one's going out there being like, oh, Norwegian Cruise Lines is a horrible company. It's going to go bankrupt. Like, no one's ever going to invest in it. Like, that's not true. It just happens to be a company that doesn't do well in the state of a pandemic. It's not like big tech or like EV companies that are kind of just rallying all over the place. But in quote, they say we have reason to be optimistic about AMC's ability to get to the other side of this pandemic with kind of the opening of the states once again, people flocking back to the movie theaters. Remember, people have not had this luxury for a very long time. So people are definitely going to be flocking back to the movie theaters once they actually get a chance. Now that things are reopening, vaccines are spread all over the place. People expecting the whole kind of United States to be open back up again by June. Biden buying more vaccines. It's definitely looking like a very positive outlook for companies like AMC. So this is why I actually do think people should be picking up the stock at $10.67. And for an overall price prediction, where do I think AMC stock is actually headed over the next year? I easily see AMC hitting $20. Like I said, with the people not being able to have the luxury, people are going to be flocking back to the movie theaters. San Francisco, New York are now open, and those are their two biggest revenue drivers. So this is definitely going to boost its outlook, boost its revenue, and it's definitely going to push the stock upward. Now, like I said, the biggest downside here is AMC is taking on a lot of debt, so it is a little bit risky. This is kind of the biggest thing they need to be looking out for. And them being able to repay back the debt is probably going to be their biggest challenge. I don't think AMC Entertainment in itself is going to go bankrupt as a company. Movie theaters have been around for a very long time. People still love going to the movie theaters. It's a very good business model. And the company was making money. It's not like the company was losing money every single year. That's absolutely incorrect. Right before the pandemic, AMC was actually doing very well for itself. Now, people are aware of kind of like getting scared of stock dilution and stuff like that. But for me, I'm not really too worried. Stocks get diluted all the time and they still do pretty fine in themselves. So the biggest challenge is AMC being able to counteract that debt. And I'm almost convinced that AMC is not really going to have that much trouble being able to repay back its debt. And the reason I say this is because, like I said, there's definitely going to be a huge influx of business as movie theaters start to reopen up once again. I am almost convinced that since people have not had the luxury to be able to go back to the movie theaters or even go to the movie theaters at all over the last year or so, businesses that people have not been able to go to, such as cruises or being able to fly or clubs and even entertainment businesses like AMC and Dave & Buster's, I feel like those stocks are definitely going to see a lot of upward potential and a lot of upward movement in the year of 2021 and definitely in the year of 2022. So it should definitely not be a bad time to pick up the stock. But I do think AMC stock is going to hit $20 by the end of the year. And I actually do think that the stock does have a potential chance of a great recovery. It just takes a very good amount of patience and really being able to set itself offward. And I know a lot of people bought the stock higher, and it's all about being patient. Investing is always about a patient game. If you're in it for the long term or short term, you should be following technical analysis, not just betting on a company just because a lot of people are also buying into the company as well. So for me, I have a long-term bullish outlook on AMC. I don't care if it goes up or down in the very short term. I'm looking at the long-term perspective that yes, the pandemic is now going away. We've now starting to control it. We have vaccines out. Companies like this are an absolute steal at these prices because they know that they're going to see a lot of upward potential in the next coming years. This is the same thing, and everyone has to know that every investment you make is always a risk-adverse investment. But if you truly believe in the company and you truly believe for what the company actually stands for, then actually investing in AMC Entertainment at $10.66 should seem like an absolute steal for the people who got in earlier, like at $2 or $3. That's great for you guys. That patience right there is absolutely well deserved. Same for the people who bought like airlines and stuff. Sometimes it just takes a whole amount of patience, and that's what investing is always about. But AMC, like I said, they beat their earnings, or they didn't beat their earnings. Obviously, the company still lost money, but they beat their expected EPS, which is a very good sign that the company is kind of headed towards the right direction as far as its overall recovery. But with that being said, guys, that's all I really have to say about the video. Let me know down in the comment section below, guys, what you think of AMC Entertainment stock. Do you guys think AMC Entertainment stock is going to make a great recovery? If you guys own AMC Entertainment stock, how many shares do you guys own and what's your average?